Don't Starve Together is a fun, sophisticated survival crafting game that gets updated much more frequently than its single-player predecessor, Don't Starve. Yet there's some complications that come with that, as you've probably inferred from the title. DST is not tailored around solo play, which leads to some issues like bosses, resource generation, and even game performance being impacted for the worse. So if you wanted to get in on new stuff being added to the game like the latest update but still wanted to go solo, what can you do to alleviate the design? Here's some settings you can adjust and mods you can try to circumvent DST's naturally multiplayer nature. Single-player health mod is what it sounds like. It rebalances monster and boss health pools to be consistent with the original game. There are definitely lots of DST players out there that have long gotten used to the spongy nature of enemies and have learned to get better at it regardless, but personally I think combat feels more exciting when it doesn't drag out for unnecessarily long amounts of time. If you're coming to DST from the first game and it feels really off, you can't go wrong with this one, and I'm just really surprised Clay hasn't added dynamic health scaling to the game already. Don't Starve Alone is a thing I touched on in my other mod video for DST. Essentially, whenever you create a large cave area and Don't Starve Together, you are hit with a really big delay in your input because the game is generating both the surface and cave areas at the same time. The Don't Starve Alone mod makes it so that each area is only loaded in when your character is present there, and it's a lot less stressful on the server as a whole. Really wish I knew about this one sooner, as it would have made my first dozen or so runs much more pleasant to play. Moving away from mods into setting adjustments, this one might fall down to your personal preferences, but I'd specifically tell you to turn down the hound frequency. Considering how many can come at you at once in the later days, it's easier to get taken off guard after some in-game weeks when you don't have the company of other players to tip the scales. This is easier to circumvent late game when you have more resources to defend yourself or if you're playing as a character like Wendy, but to me it's just a smoother experience when it's not happening as often. Before I tell you the fourth thing on this list, let me explain that none of this is to say you'll be able to adjust and mod the game to a perfect single-player experience. Lots of the character reworks and changes from the first game are designed with multiplayer in mind, but the tools and techniques listed here should go a long way in making a solo DST experience that much smoother for you. Another one that could be considered a personal preference, but if you're in the frame of mind to play DST by yourself, feel free to turn both the surface and cave sizes down a bit. There's more than enough room to adventure and have fun on it in lots of different world sizes. Since you aren't going to be splitting up and combing over giant countrysides with multiple players, it's more than enough for one person. It'll also be easier to get to different biomes faster to get whatever dire resource you might be lacking at the time. In addition to what I said earlier, I also want to communicate to you guys that even with all of this being said, the first Don't Starve also has Shipwrecked and Hamlet, which are two entirely different survival experiences than both DST and base DS. Some people have gone as far as to say that Clay was generous in calling them DLCs when they could have just been labeled sequels to the first Don't Starve itself. Pretty high praise if you ask me. And while I have you here, I know it's a bit of a hard segue, but tough times have fallen on the channel as of recently, as I am no longer employed at my day job. So if you'd like to do a giant favor that I'll be forever grateful for, click the link in the pinned comment. No hard feelings if you can't, of course. Feel like that goes without saying, but just like to throw that out there just in case. Here's another video I did on Don't Starve mods as well. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful night. Booba.